race fans, and welcome back to the League Zero Formula 3 series. It's going to be a great day here at Spa, something I'm very excited about to see these high horsepower machines make their way, and a whole lot of drafting is going to be in play tonight as well. As right now, drivers making their way onto the grid to get ready to follow our iRacing pace car. Let's run it through the official grid. Terry Stay Off My Lawn Crouch starts on pole. Russell Soto starting second. Raymond Aguilar starts third. Nick Peterson starting fourth. Flo Doms fifth on the grid. Brandon Duwan starting sixth. Jared Zigler making his way back out, racing for Norman King as a fill-in driver. He'll be starting seventh. Kevin Burrows starts eighth. Jake Pott starting ninth. Ryan Thibault starting 10th. Brad Tritton starting 11th. World-famous Gareth McAllister, the Australian, starting 12th here today. Then you got James Mullery starting 13th. Dustin Oberlo, got it right this time, starting 14th. John Kasai starts 15th. Hunter Graves 16th on the grid. Andrew Neri starting 17th. Michael Fairchild starts 18th. Aaron Patel 19th. Peter Rettinger starting 20th. Xavier Zanabe starting 21st. Connor Scribner starting 22nd. Matt Foster starting 23rd. We've got Chase Small starting 24th. Cycle it back one more time. Felipe Garcia starting 25th. Levi Opitz 26th. Danilo Sparapani starting 27th. Jeff Murphy starting 28th. John Lynch 29th on the grid. Felipe Ramos starting 30th. Anthony Asenati starting 31st. Ricardo Espino starts 32nd. Kenneth Huddock starts 33rd. And Antonio Bianchi starts 34th to round out our grid here today. Going to be interesting to see how things pan out here at Spa. And an absolute massive field making their way. I think this may be the biggest grid we've had all season, with 34 drivers making our main event. And I'm curious to see how this start goes, charging up the hill. Let us know where in the world you're tuning in from to support your favorite drivers, and let us know who you're cheering for. A lot of these drivers will be watching this broadcast live, if not on an additional screen or maybe a cell phone, and they always go back and watch it afterwards, and they absolutely notice and appreciate the guys and family from across the world cheering on these drivers today as we get ready for the feature race to start. As it looks like it's a rolling start today. Something that we haven't seen in the past, I don't quite believe. Normally this is a standing start series. So we'll have a short 10 parade lap, I believe. And then we'll get things fired off. Very interesting. I almost wonder if that's maybe an oversight, as there's a few changes made between the opening rounds and today. A couple changes they made. They had it adjusted so the top 12 will invert for our sprint race later on in the evening. That was not set up for last week, but I believe they got it right today. And here we go as the lights come on, signaling the start. Terry Crouch, Raymond Aguilar up front. Russell Soto now running third after not getting a fantastic restart. But I'm looking forward to seeing what's going to happen up the hill, as here we go already. We got somebody pointing the wrong direction. That's Raymond Aguilar. Finds himself in a very precarious position as he very wisely waits for the field to come by here. As Terry Crouch, Russell Soto leads him up the field. You're on board with Soto, and that's what a 1.2 second disadvantage looks like to race leader Crouch. And look on the right side, there's Flo Doms working his way into second, using the draft here at Spawn. Such a great angle, showing just how massive the field is here today. And Doms and looks like Soto have a little bit of contact. Soto goes off track, able to keep it pointing the right direction, and he will fall back to sixth. Already things getting very, very exciting. Things staying relatively calm. We've had one incident with Asianati, and Gareth McAllister finds himself now 34th, the Australian, with a long 16-second off track. So another driver that found himself off the circuit, and he will have to wait for the field to get back around him safely, rejoin, and then get back to racing. Now the good news for these drivers is it is the 45-minute maximum feature event, 20 laps here at Spa. So a long chance to maybe get back up there, score some much needed points. And again, you want to find yourself in the top 12 by the end of this, as we'll be inverting the top 12 finishers for the Mad Dash sprint race here at Spa, which will be a 10-lap shootout. cycle a little bit further back in the field, where Connor Scribner and Varun Patel have a heated battle for 19th as they go side by side. You've also got Chase Small, number 5 machine. He's getting in the mix. As Small looks to the inside line, not able to quite make it stick, as Scribner had it set up well through the bus stop to get the best drive. But we've got problems up front. Kevin Burrows found himself in the wrong direction. Andrew Neri may have been involved in that one as well, as I believe we may have seen Neri upside down. Let's take a quick look at the replay here. We're watching Neri in the 65 machine. Looks like there's trouble ahead. He locks up the brakes. So it doesn't appear that it was Neri that was upside down, thankfully, and he is, again, parked in a very precarious spot, waiting as safely as possible to get back out on the track, but unfortunately he will go back to pit road. It's still Terry Crouch out front with a 3-second advantage over Nick Peterson. Kevin Burrows may have been the driver we saw upside down as he took a tow back to pit road in the number 80 machine. And Peterson has his hands full with Doms. Doms like a shadow on the back of that number 24 machine. The number 13 of Doms trying to work his way up, as Terry Crouch out front just checking out here today. Last week's winner, Josh Green, unable to make it tonight, as he, I believe, is in Daytona doing testing for the real-life racing. We go back with the action. Hunter Graves, Matt Foster battling for 17th. That's the great thing about these massive grids here at League Zero. There's usually always somebody you can find yourself battling hard with. As now Graves will play second fiddle to Zanave, trying to catch up and squeeze out that 16th place. All these drivers out here tonight trying to score some points. We pan back to the battle for second. Peterson and Dom still going at it here today. A live timing update to show the top 30 on the left side of your screen. As it looks like most of the drivers setting their fastest laps of the race on lap 3 today. Crouch, your race leader, he's clicked off a 2:11.83, running almost 2 seconds faster than the rest of the field. And Oberlo has an incident as well, the number 42 machine. He's having a rough go tonight, currently running 33rd on track. He is down 19 positions. And Spa tonight looks like they're just chewing him up and spitting him out. Sparpani racing hard with Ramos for the battle inside the top 20. You've got Jeff Murphy, the number 45 machine, running 20th, Sparpani running 21st, and Ramos running 22nd. As Sparpani dives it in deep on the inside line, edges out Murphy for that top 20th spot. And now he's going to try and track down Matt Foster in the 32 machine. Gotta say, this is probably one of the most fun raceways I've ever had the pleasure of driving on iRacing. A lot of good racing, especially when you can find yourself surrounded by guys you can trust to push hard and make it to the end here. As again, this is the battle for 20th we're watching. That's about the top 15 to 25 drivers all on a massive pack out. A little bit towards the rear, but just great racing to be had. McAllister grabs another spot, moves up to 29th after his early incident where he found himself waiting for the field to come back by. And now we've got, ooh, look at Soto going, the number 1 machine, trying to make his way around Brandon Dewan. Soto had a rough start as well. He's still down 3 spots from where he started, but trying to crawl back out towards the front. Crouch, speaking of being out front, still setting fastest laps of the race with a 2:11.685, excuse me, 6.9. But Doms is going to answer with a 2:11.36 that last time by, but it appears Doms may have had a dirty lap, maybe had an off track or two in that search for a little bit more time. waiting to see how Soto's going to measure up against Juan in the battle for fourth. Soto looks at the inside line, trying to pick up the draft of Peterson ahead of him. Peterson's about 7/10 ahead. The draft just so potent here at Spa. Soto gets back in line, clears the position from Juan, and now he's going to put his head down and try and catch up to Peterson however he can. All these drivers may be overextending the track limit here today, trying to find that pace. Soto shows it's about 11 off track so far tonight. So he is pushing hard early on to make those positions up. Soto whittling away. He's about 3/10 back from Peterson, so he's finding some time here. Now we're expecting most of these drivers to come in for fuel around lap 10 to 12 is the most. They're going to most likely stretch it out here today. And Soto has caught the draft of the number 24 machine to try and make his way up into third. Looks like Peterson went a little bit wide to maybe help facilitate that pass. And now Brandon Juan, number 96 machine, thinks about diving in deep, backs out of it, decides better. He's going to try and get a better run out of the bus stop and maybe catch up to Peterson here. So now your top three, Crouch, Dom, Soto. Brandon Juan, Nick Peterson about to have a great battle for fourth. We've seen Juan try and take some lunges at the driver of that number 24 machine, Peterson. But oh no, now we've got problems towards the back. Matt Foster finds himself the wrong direction. And now it looks like Peterson, using that draft, has caught back up to Soto. Soto gets offline to maybe break the draft and be a little bit defensive here. Oh, we've got more problems again, as it looks like Andrew Neri and Espino have an incident. Let's see what happened to the number 65 machine. Both drivers showed going into pit lane almost immediately. So maybe no incident, maybe just getting down pit road triggered the incident reading. So Neri must have had problems. Cycling a little bit back in the field. Still a battle for 17th between Sparapani and Zanave. And uh-oh, Brandon Juan finds himself missing the front end of his car. What on earth happened here? The number 96 machine, which was so incredibly quick and making big moves. Oh, that was number 24. Peterson loops it in front of him. And then the car just falls apart on Juan. He takes a tow back to pit road, so he will be done and out. Soto with clean track running third, clicks off the fastest lap of the race with a 2:10.73. And old man Spa is chewing them up tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We've had so many fast drivers. It looks like they're going to retire early and call it quits with just too much damage to get back out there. Right now we've got Nick Peterson, Brandon Juan, Ricardo Espino, and Kevin Burrows all down pit road. They are most likely done and out of this event. As we're on board, Russell Soto running third. He's staring down quite a gap, though, up to Flo Dom's, about 1.5 seconds off the back of that number 13 machine. And we've got more incidents going on here. Showed Scribner, Fairchild, and Murphy all involved in an incident. Let's take a quick look and see what may have happened here. Oh, same thing, and just catches. I wonder if there's a bit of netcode involved in that one. as luckily the field looks like they got through relatively unharmed. But man, there's a lot of drivers getting dropped out here tonight. Raymond Aguilar running now 14th, getting around Rettinger. Rettinger looks like they have some damage on the all-black 44 machine. Not even at the halfway mark, and we've lost a whole lot of drivers. Jake Potts, he goes down pit road. Going to be interesting to see if he gets back out there. Anthony Asianati, he is still out on track as well, but he's had problems with the number 23 machine. Yes, Asianati has big problems in the number 23. He'll be done as well. As you can see, the front right has managed to work itself loose somehow, some way. And we will pan back to the battle for 12th, where it's Levi Opitz, Danilo Sparapani, and Raymond Aguilar. Aguilar having to work hard tonight to get back up into points paying positions after a rough start as well out of that number 72, a driver we're used to calling up front, or at least close to the front week in and week out. We've got Fernandez cheering on his friends that are out there racing. Fundeo, I believe is the right way to say that, the Fundeo racing team. And look at this, there goes Sparapani up the inside line. Clearing by Opitz. Aguilar's gonna look for a way through as well. And Opitz will drop down to 14th. Sparapani and Aguilar take over 12th and 13th. Sparapani, one of those drivers that's gotten a lot faster as this season's progressed, so good to see him getting the racecraft dialed in, as the Brazilian driver's been scoring some personal bests as far as results. As there's some more love for the Fundeo racing team, cheering on Sparapani and Garcia. Sparapani, we're watching him battle hard for 12th with Raymond Aguilar. Garcia Felipe, he's running 19th at the number 19 machine, up 6 spots from where he started. It's just great racing all across track. It looks like Aguilar and Sparapani stretching out, but not sure what's going on with the old upload speeds tonight. But we've got problems up here in the broadcast booth. There's problems on track as well. Fairchild and Foster still battling hard. Oberlo, number 42 machine, trying to get up in there. And just like that, there goes Foster sending it around as well. He will wait for a safe opportunity to rejoin and get back out on track, but unfortunately he will drop all the way back to 25th. And now got another great battle for the battle for 9th. It's going to be Chase Small and Hunter Graves battling. Small currently up 14 positions in the number 5 machine, as it looks like Graves is going to answer. Now still waiting to see when that pit window is going to open for your race leaders. Again, we're expecting them to start coming down pit road for their fuel around lap 10 to 12 is our prediction up here in the broadcast booth. Trying to get back around Graves, looking for a moment of weakness out of the number 37 machine. Now Aguilar cutting through the field once more. He's catching up to Varun Patel. Now inside the top 12 after a very rough start. So the good news is he's looking better for the sprint race later this evening. As again, we do invert the top 12 for the sprint race. Aguilar looking towards the inside line against Patel going to the bus stop. Patel will yield the position. And Aguilar has a bit of a bobbles there. That'll hurt his exit speed. Patel may be able to capitalize. And looks like Sparapani may have been involved in a little bit of an incident as well in 12th. Everything still looks well sorted on that number 9 machine, but we saw Levi Opitz involved in an incident as well as Hunter Graves, who's now exiting pit road. And Patel's trying to stay glued to Aguilar. All these drivers setting their fastest laps of the race. We've got Nick Peterson joining us from the pit road after his incident. Oh, here we go. That was Chase Small pointing the wrong direction as Aguilar and Patel get through, as well as Sparapani. Small gets it pointed back forward in that number 5 machine, but he's going to be now back to 12th. What a wild night here at Spa. We're going to go back to Jeff Murphy in the number 45 machine. He's tracking down Ramos in the 73. This will be the battle for just inside the top 20. Ramos running 19th, Murphy running 20th. Both drivers had their fair share of off tracks tonight. As it appears, a quick update. John Lynch may have retired from the feature race. Jeff Murphy still tracking down Ramos here. Great racing just inside the top 20. Again, a lot of these drivers fighting for their career best at the League Zero Formula 3 Series. As it sounded like Murphy maybe missed the shift coming out of the bus stop, and that's going to allow Ramos to really stretch his legs. And another battle on track we have is Antonio Bianchi, Felipe Garcia, and Hunter Graves in a 3-car battle for 15. And just watch how potent the draft is. We'll go to Hunter Graves as he's going to lock in behind Garcia here to try and pick up the draft, decide which driver is going to get him the most forward as quickly as possible. As now Graves tucked in behind Garcia, less than a tenth off of his back gearbox. Garcia seems to do a fairly decent job defending here against Graves. Graves is only down 1 spot from where he started tonight, keeping it relatively clean in the number 37 machine. Now, he did come in on lap 8 for a pit stop, so I'm wondering if he's maybe going for an undercut or maybe has some problems he wanted to address on that 37 machine. As now Russell Soto, the number 1 machine, he'll be one of the lead drivers that comes down pit road for a pit stop on lap 11. We said that earlier in the broadcast. We're expecting most of the drivers to come in between lap 10 and 12. As Connor Scribners and Xavier Zanave have a bit of a battle for 13th. But let's go back to Terry Crouch out front, your race leader, the number 59 machine, currently holding a 4.3 second advantage over Flo Doms and Jared Zigler running 3rd. And good to see Zigler back out on track in that number 57 machine. He's a fill-in driver for Norman King this week. And having a great race, running podium contention his first time back. Hasn't ran any events this season. Last season was kind of his going away party as he well represents Mustard Seed Racing out here today. He currently has about a 1.3 second advantage over fourth place James Mallory in the number 8 machine. But again, great having Zigler back out on track, the Ohio native. Normally a oval racing professional, hopping back in the Formula 3 machine to make something happen for his old-time friends and teammates, former teammates, I should say. Chase Small still trying to track down Sparapani in the battle for 11th. Less than a half second separating these two drivers for most of the last lap. And speaking of small gaps, here comes Antonio Bianchi. He's trying to catch up to Zanave in the battle for 14th. Scoring some more points, or attempting to score some more points as well, as the laps click off of this feature event. Got a lot of drivers coming down pit road. James Mallory, Brad Tritton, Ryan Thibault, all down pit road on lap 12. And let's see. Bianchi gets the position. Does he hold on to it, or is Zanave going to try to answer back? As now Aguilar, Sparapani, Small, and Scribner all come down pit road, as well as Bianchi and Zanave. Hunter Graves opts to stay out. Your race leader Terry Crouch still running strong out front, as it is still Crouch, Dom, Zigler, your top three. John Casai's moved up to 4th. And now in 5th, Russell Soto, after his lap 10 pit stop, looking maybe a little bit better here for a top 5, as the top 4 still have to come down pit road. Most drivers spending an average of about 30 seconds on pit road. Only taking fuel. You won't see many drivers coming in for tires unless they're involved in some spins, opting to double stint those tires and save a whole bunch of time in their box. As we were watching Crouch, who has been flawless so far in his run here today, qualified on pole and checking out 4.4 seconds ahead of Doms in 2nd. But again, nobody inside the top 4 has come down pit road yet for their one stop at this feature event, so it's going to be interesting to see how things get shaken up inside the top 5. As here comes Crouch down pit road, I'm assuming Doms will follow here, as it will be a long pit road here at Spa. Doms also comes down pit road, as well as Zigler. So look at this, John Kasai also comes down pit road, and it might be Russell Soto picking up a lap lead here at Spa as Crouch rolls out of pit road. Let's see where the two intertwine at, as I believe Crouch will still have somewhat of an advantage, but I'm not quite sure as Doms comes out of pit road, now 3rd, 2 seconds off of Soto. Crouch still showing about 8 seconds, almost 8 seconds ahead of Soto. So drivers able to get out of pit road relatively quickly. Varan Patel, Felipe Garcia now in pit road, as well as Gareth McAllister, who's running 14th. So now it looks like just everybody inside the top 10 has completed their pit stops of the day. And we will run it out till the end. Now it's Crouch, Soto, Doms, Zigler, and Tritton, your top 5. Most of these drivers running 2nd through 5th, about 2.5 seconds away from each other, so no draft to rely on or lean on your competition to pull you back up towards the front. It's going to be all driving with the open track we have. Chase Small, the number 5 machine, he was running up front, had that spin, now working his way back up behind Sparapani. He has caught the tail end of the number 9 machine, pulls out of the draft maybe a little bit too soon here, allowing Sparapani to hold on to 11th place. Says no, Small working the outside. Sparapani has a bit of a bobble. Now Small moves up to 11th, Sparapani back to 12th. And let's see how Sparapani answers. I don't think he's going to let Chase Small get away here. But both these drivers are inside that crucial top 12 where we'll be inverting the grid for the sprint. As it looks like Small extending that gap to about 0.6 of a second over Sparapani. Now, so let's cycle through the field and see where some other action may be at. I think we found that as Varun Patel has a big moment as well and loses a couple positions to both Chase Small and Sparapani. He will rejoin the circuit. That number 99 machine now running 12, still up 7 spots from where he started tonight. Still, now Sparapani and Small have closed the gap once more. Sparapani still holds the position now in 10th. Small in 11th is going to try and answer. These two have been battling back and forth all night. Man, just great racing all across the circuit here tonight. Small now 2/10 off the back of Sparapani. Looking for a way through here. Now Sparapani and Small both came in on lap 11. They were in and out of their pit stalls in about 5 seconds. So both drivers on very identical strategy tonight. As these drivers absolutely cooking it, hitting speeds in excess of 130 miles an hour here at Spa. That draft is always so much fun, especially in the lower horsepower machines, which I think technically these F3 machines do fall under. Connor Scrivener takes a tow back to pit road. He will have to call it quits early tonight, as we still have 24 drivers on the lead lap. And Small and Sparapani just can't get away from each other. Drivers linked up nose to tail. It's almost like over racing, drafting together to leapfrog up towards closer up in the field. Now Sparapani and Small are still about 7, almost 8 seconds back from Graves inside the top 9. But they were most likely just happy to have 2 drivers around each other that they can trust to push hard and keep clicking off laps, keeping their head down, because up front it's still Terry Crouch with a 7.4 second lead over Soto. Soto did well to get that far back up front after the early incidents. As Sparapani looks to the inside line of Small, makes it stick. Small's gonna follow the number 9 machine once more of Sparapani. Ooh, almost has a moment there, pushing a little bit wide. That may allow Varun Patel, the 99 machine, who's watching this battle unfold as Small smokes the tires once more. This could very quickly be a 3-car battle for 10th between Sparapani, Small, and Patel. You're on board with Small. He's almost 7/10ths back from Sparapani. Felipe Ramos, he is also retired from the evening, going straight back to the team to talk what they need to do to make adjustments for the sprint race coming up immediately after this feature event. Terry Crouch, your race leader, he has an off track as well, but no worries. He has enough of a gap where he doesn't have to worry quite too much with that 7-second advantage. And Sparapani and Crouch still going back and forth. Small on the inside, Sparapani in the bright pink. He's going to be set up here on the inside to follow. Who's got the better drive? It looks like it's going to be Chase Small. Chopping the nose off of Sparapani. And this has allowed Patel to get in the mix as well. Uh-oh, Terry Crouch had another off track up front, able to get back onto the circuit very quickly. Brandon Dewan, Nick Peterson have retired. But we are watching this wild battle between Small, Sparapani, and Patel inside the top 10. There's Patel in the all-white machine. You can go on board as he's looking at Sparapani and Small run nose to tail. Going side by side, what a great shot. Who is going to be the winner in this duel? As it looks like it's going to be Sparapani once more, edging out Small. Small all over the gearbox of Sparapani. These three drivers battling like it's the race lead. Small looks up inside of Sparapani. Runs them wide. Sparapani is going to answer with the inside move. Sparapani holds on to it here, but look at this. Now Patel has caught the draft, the number 99 machine, and it will be, in fact, a 3-car battle for 10th. Sparapani and Small still side by side. Patel squarely in the party. We're going to go 3 wide at Spa as Patel backs out of it. Oh, contact between Sparapani and Small. Patel's going to take advantage as he now moves up into 11th place. Sparapani holds on to 10th. But let's see, Patel watch these two drivers to see what moves they're willing to make, and now it's his turn to put the pressure on Small. As these open wheel machines do not bode well with wheel-to-wheel contact. It is a quick way to send yourself launched to orbit. Sparapani tries to defend here. Patel showing he's got the speed, he's got the aggression. Who's going to get the better drive here as Patel looks up the inside once more. As we're on board with Patel, it's Sparapani able to pull a couple car lengths. Patel quickly hopping down into the draft. As Sparapani still holds on to 10th, but Patel has caught the draft. Chase Small, he's gaining time as well, because again, every time Small and Patel battle here, that will, Sparapani and Patel battle, that will allow Small another opportunity to catch back up and leapfrog. As soon as Sparapani and Patel go too wide here, which they are, they're punching a massive hole in the air for Small to catch up. And keep an eye on Antonio Bianchi. He's not too far off here. If these three continue battling hard, Patel takes over 10th. That will allow the other drivers to make their way forward as these drivers battling for 10th slow down the pace with all the wild wheel-to-wheel shenanigans. Just absolute fantastic racing here in the battle for 10th. These three drivers have been within a second of each other for, I think, several laps at this point. Still 3 laps left to go in this feature event. Then we'll have a short pause before we roll into our action-packed sprint race of the evening. Gonna be curious to see here as we go on board with Sparapani. Are we gonna see any big more moves out of Sparapani or Small running 11th and 12th to get back up to Patel? Patel was very wise. He was watching Sparapani and Small having those very tight duels and maybe backing out of it slightly in case those two drivers collected themselves here and able to squeeze through nice and clean up to 10. As Small maybe trying to get set up here against Sparapani. But it looks like no, Patel has issues. And now Sparapani is going to battle for 10th once more. Just like that, these three drivers have stacked back up. When you think things are going to get a little bit easier for one of them, a simple bobble is a quick way to throw away a half second. We've got LSRT, some good broadcasting friends of ours, asking where is John? It's going to be next week. John will be in the booth covering a different open wheel series. Sparapani still on the gearbox of Patel. Small trying to work his way up as well. All three drivers nose to tail. Who's going to be the first one to fall out? As it looks like Small almost in the grass there. Patel still holds on to it. As here comes Sparapani in the purple number 9 machine, looking to the inside line, trying to pick up a couple spots the easy way. And he will get clear. As no, around goes Patel. The number 99 machine will have to wait for traffic to clear. And now he will find himself battling from 10th, now back to 14th. Still a second ahead of Levi Opitz in 15th. But he has lost that crucial position where the top 12 will be inverted for the sprint race. As Sparapani and Small will continue that battle. Just a couple of short laps left to go. Sparapani holds a half-second advantage over Small in this battle for 10th. We're going to go on board with Small. That is what a half-second looks like here at Spa. Let's see how quickly he can pick up the draft and reel in Sparapani's number 9 machine. Ooh, does so very quickly, catching just the tail end of that tunnel of air. Small right on the gearbox. He's going to set up for the best drive he possibly can on exit. And these two drivers just putting on a show, ladies and gentlemen. Now, what they're going to do in some of these sections is they're going to slow the pace down slightly to get the best drive they can. And these guys know racecraft. They may try and force the issue and maybe hurt the run slightly of the driver in front or behind them and make some ground on the long section of straightaway as you're going to see Small catch the draft and come rocketing up the hill. Once more right behind Sparapani, wins the number 5 machine, going to hop out of line here. Looks like Small is going to stay content following Sparapani. Very interesting. I'm wondering if he's going to try and set up for a last lap pass, perhaps. Right now, your top 5, it's still Crouch, Soto, Dom, Zigler, Tritton round out the top 5. As the camera has been focused on the absolute heated battle for 10th between Sparapani and Small. At one point, Patel was making a 3-car party, but unfortunately, not sure if he sent himself around or if maybe there's a little bit of rear contact that helped him along the way. The white flag flies for Terry Crouch up front. Still holding a comfortable 6.3 second advantage over Soto. As it is Soto with the fastest lap of the race tonight, a 2:10.73 compared to Crouch, who had a 2:10.78. So both drivers just absolutely on the gas. Small now back to about 0.6 off the gearbox of Sparapani. When is he going to try and set the move up, or is he going to be happy with an 11 here tonight? So he'll be starting second in our top 12 inverted sprint race, which I've got to say is probably one of my favorite parts of the call. It is always nonstop action, and lap 1 usually lends itself to some fantastic incidents, for better or worse. Sparapani finds pace now 1.4 seconds ahead of Small. Small with the bobble will cost him dearly. As if you listen to that, it almost sounded like Small was short shifting. Small appears to be fuel saving for some reason. The number 5 machine, maybe talking to his crew chief, is finding himself short on fuel, and now Antonio Bianchi is going to make his way by. But how could that be? Both Sparapani, Small, Bianchi all came in on lap 11 together. And now Bianchi finds himself in 12th and may very soon be picking up an 11th as Small has backed out of the gas. Very curious. Did somebody do some miscalculating perhaps? The checkered flag flies for Terry Crouch, bringing home another win here tonight. And it will be Russell Soto and Flo Doms rounding out the top 3. As we go a little bit further back in the field, Dustin Oberlo, he's trying to track down Levi Opitz, running about 4/10 off the back bumper of the number 7 machine. As Oberlo may be able to pick up another spot here. Catching the draft of that number 7. But what happened to Chase Small and the fuel saving, as he is now running 12th, so still in a reverse transfer spot to start on pole. I'm almost curious if he did that on purpose. I can't imagine he would, as Oberlo makes the pass. Oberlo makes the pass on Opitz. Opitz returns the favor. And oh, there goes Oberlo, almost looping it. And he may lose a spot to Zanabe on the last lap. Zanabe will look up the inside line of the number 42 machine, and he will take it. No, it'll be Oberlo holds on to it in a wild dash here tonight. What a wild race from start to finish. So we wait for a couple more drivers to cross the finish line and take the checkers. As I believe Neri will be the last driver to take the checker here tonight, running 22nd in the Team Goon Squad back number 65 machine. And yes, Neri will cross the line and join the fray. And there are results for what calls Heat 1 by iRacing. What here at League 0 is the feature event. Terry Crouch, Russell Soto, Flo Doms taking home the top 3. We're going to run a very quick commercial break, try and get our top 3 up here into victory lane. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with more action. And we are back, and we will be joined first by Mr. Doms, the number 13 machine, bringing home a third, a great race. Flo, what was the trick to avoiding some of the carnage we saw out there today?
I have no idea. I avoided like some people into turn one. I think it was Raymond. After that, I was right behind Russell. Overtook him into the camel or after the camel straight, and from there I tried to maintain the gap.
Now, Flo, Spa seems like one of those tracks that's easy to go fairly quick, but very hard to go extremely quick. Do you think with such wide open straightaways and drafting sections that made it a little bit tougher for some of the drivers tonight?
I think the track was pretty good, especially if you compare it to the first two rounds. But yeah, you have to be right on edge to be quick, and that's key here. And it's so easy to lose focus because it's such a long lap as well.
Well, Flo's great race out there, keeping it relatively clean from start to finish. Before we let you sign off and get ready for the feature event, who would you like to give a shout out to that's cheering you on and supporting you from across the world?
Yeah, my mates over at TLDR Simsport, Terry and Kevin in particular, and let's say my G29 wheel.
Well, excellent, Flo. Always a great time talking to you. I hope to see you carry that success into this, what's going to be an exciting sprint race. So we wish you the best of luck out there.
Cheers, James.
Thank you, sir. That was Flo Doms finishing second. Now we've got Soto. Whoop. Wrong driver. Now we've got Soto joining us in the booth, finishing second after it was a bit of an up and down start. Russell, what was the strategy to crawl back up there towards the front at the end of that thing?
Oh, it was quite the journey, James. And first, I just want to say it's great to be back here. Great to be back at League Zero and on the broadcast again. Yeah, difficult start in the beginning, but we were able to climb back up the positions. Fortunately, we were matching about the same pace as Terry, so I couldn't really close that gap. But it was great to, do the undercut on flow and be back in P2.
Yeah, I know from my understanding, this the real life circuit may be taking you away from the League Zero racing as much as you would like. How's the real life racing treating you?
Oh, it's been great. I was just at Sebring International last December for the Lucas Oil Shootout, doing some Formula Car action there too. But yeah, just in general, I've been working on my engineering degree, and class unfortunately clashes with the time slot for this league, so I haven't been able to do much of the races. But, it's been great to be back in the seat, man.
Now, I guess my final question for you, Russell, as I know school and real life racing intertwined can be rough with everything going on in real life. Do you think the sprint race is going to go relatively clean with you guys starting 11th in that number one machine, having to crawl back through the field, or do you think you had experience doing that in the feature event and now you just got the practice out of the way?
I think, we've got the experience in the feature. Everyone else has got some more seat time in, so hopefully the sprint will go away better. I mean, in the past, hasn't been exactly like that, but, we'll just go and put our head down and do our best.
Well, Soto, it's always a great time talking to you, man, and following your racing career on and off the virtual or real life raceway. Before I let you sign off and get ready for the sprint race, who would you like to give a shout out to that's helping cheer you on?
I have to give a shout out to my parents, for helping me out through my career, as well as my girlfriend, for being a great support. And yeah, I'd like to also shout out League Zero for just being an amazing league. We always have a great night on Thursday nights, and these guys are awesome.
Well said. Always a great time talking to you, and we wish you the best of luck in this upcoming sprint race.
Thank you, James.
Thank you, sir. That was Russell Soto, the number one machine, finishing second. And now we've got Terry Crouch joining us, the number 59 machine. A dominant run tonight. Terry qualified on pole. Seemed like you had the pit strategy dialed in and finished a whopping 6.5 seconds above a lot of fast drivers out there today.
Yeah, thank you. It's good to be talking to you again. I knew Russell was fast, and putting it on pole was important, but when you get a rolling start, that kind of threw a monkey wrench into everybody's plan. But as soon as I saw Raymond go around, I knew I needed to build a gap as quick as possible and hope those guys fought behind me, and that's kind of what happened.
Now, Terry, good point. The rolling start threw a wrench. I think that was a surprise update, but we did, from my understanding, get the top 12 inversion correct. Now, is this the first time you'll be starting all the way back in 12th for one of the sprint races? And how do you think your previous sprint races here at League Zero will prepare you for tonight?
12th, yes. I think I started 11th in week one because Josh was here and took the win. And it was just trying to keep your nose clean. And last week it was kind of mid-pack, and I got into the back of somebody. So, here above all else, I'm just trying to survive and see what happens.
Now, Terry, I guess my final question for you, since you are starting 12th and it's such a draft-heavy track, do you think that's going to make it tougher or maybe a little bit easier to crawl towards the front in the opening laps?
I think it really depends on who you team up with. Like if I can find one of my buddies or somebody that I know has kind of the same braking markers, you can kind of send it with somebody else when they get the line. You can kind of pick and choose, at the end of some of the straights. So it's just picking the right lane and rolling the dice.
Well, awesome. Terry, we wish you the best of luck out there in the sprint race. Who would you like to give a shout out to? Family, friends, sponsors, anybody you can think of. The floor is yours, my friend.
My wife for never blinking when I tell her I need to spend another absurd amount of money on this thing. And my daughter who's watching, I love you, Aurora.
Now,
my friends.
so I was going to say, Terry, did you tell your family that you're now internet famous? Does that help your case at all?
Oh, no. She's kind of used to that part of it.
Well, Terry, always a great time talking to you. We'll be cheering you on the sprint race and hope to see you back up here in Victory Lane.
Appreciate you.
Thank you, sir. That was Terry Crouch finishing in the number 1 spot. We've got about 2 minutes to go before we start our sprint race of the night. We'll roll another quick commercial, and then we will get ready to get the party started. It's half the laps and twice the action in the League Zero Formula 3 Sprint Series, or Sprint Race, I should say. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Driver Carrington gets dumped by Benami. The leaders are winding up here. Daytona. The big one is out. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to cap off the evening with style, the sprint race. It is now time as we're going to send these drivers out for the final sprint race of the evening. And I've got to say, this is where it's getting exciting. Like the top 12 drivers inverted out here tonight. With Varun Patel will now be up front. Chase Small starting second. Antonio Bianchi will be starting third. Danilo Sparapani starting fourth. Hunter Graves starts fifth. Ryan Tabot starts sixth. John Kasai seventh. Brad Tritton seventh on the grid. Jared Zigler, the fill-in driver, starting ninth. Flo Dom starts 10th. Russell Soto starting 11th. And Terry Crouch starts 12th. That is your top 12 from the previous race. Inverted for this wild, action-packed sprint race. And we will get ready to follow the iRacing Porsche. And the very brief warm-up lap we will have. And normally it's the standing start, but a little bit of a monkey wrench thrown out there for our drivers. As it looks like everybody's going to get out on track except for James Mallory and John Lynch, who will not be starting this race. And it will be Small and Patel on the front row, two drivers that battled hard in the opening feature race. But keep an eye on 11th and 12th, Terry Crouch and Russell Soto. They're going to try and work their way up to the front once more. Pace car comes in, and away goes Patel with a quick 6/10 gap, but we're going to look further back in the field as that's where all the excitement usually happens. Terry Crouch and Oberlo going side by side as the green flag flies and it quickly turns into a parking lot. We are watching Terry Crouch, previous race winner. He is tentatively in 12th as it looks like Soto and Crouch maybe playing it safe here as Raymond Aguilar tucks in behind the previous race leader. And it looks like we're going to avoid too much lap 1 carnage. As everybody tries to get sorted in here. Soto was all across the track looking for an opening around Doms and Trenton. He's going to pick up 2 spots quickly. As Crouch, the number 59 machine, seems to be a little bit more safe here. Trenton goes off track. But let's pan the camera back up front. Varun Patel leads the field with about 6/10 over Chase Small. Antonio Bianchi still 3rd. Ryan Tabot's moved up to 5th, now just behind Sparapani. Opitz has retired from the race. He will be done and out for this final event of the evening. And now Patel has a whole lot of company with Chase Small and Bianchi all in the mix here, as well as Sparapani. Ryan Tabot leading the 2nd pack of drivers from 5th place back. 10 laps to make some big moves here as Patel goes dangerously wide. That's going to allow Small another opportunity. Small looks to the inside line. Bianchi's going to follow around Patel's number 99 machine, swerving across track. Patel tries to go on the inside, not able to do so. And now it's Small and Bianchi leading the pack. Patel drops back to 3rd. Sparapani still 4th. Tabot now in 5th. Ooh, look at the battle up front. Small and Bianchi going side by side. Who's going to have the drive? As Patel checks up heavily to avoid getting to the back of Bianchi. That's allowed Sparapine to join the fray as well in the bright purple number 9 machine. As they go 2 wide up fronts once more. Small has the line and both drivers swapping across, trying to get the best drive here. Such a crucial section of raceway. And the field's starting to stack up. Now Ryan Tabot's getting the mix of this draft party as well. He's chased by Hunter Graves and Jared Zigler. Fairchild comes down pit road to try and get some repairs done. Now this is one of those races where you're not planned to have any stops. But if you do have an incident on lap 1, maybe a little bit safer to come in and try and get it repaired as Small and Bianchi dangerously close up front. Sparapani about a half second off this battle for the lead. And now Patel joining the fray as well. Ooh, there's a lot of fast drivers up here. These top 12 inversions always make things exciting. John Kasai goes off track. He will drop down the standings, now showing 23rd before he can rejoin after almost 12 seconds spent out there in no man's land. So Bianchi will take over the race lead, up 2 spots in that number 17 machine. The Canadian on fire tonight. As we pan back to Jared Zigler, number 57 machine, he's up 2 spots. He's being chased by Terry Crouch, previous race winner. As that is a very busy racetrack ahead of Zigler and Crouch as everybody's battling hard inside the top 5. Ryan Tabot, Varun Patel, Hunter Graves all battling extremely fiercely. Now Soto must have had problems in that number 1 machine as he now shows 14th on the circuit. And man, look at the side-by-side action. Not a lot of room to go as they're too wide, too deep. That was Zigler, Tabot, Crouch, Patel all in the mix. Sparapani clicks off the fastest lap of the race. Immediately answered by Graves with a 1:13.52. Now this is a tough spot to be in. You don't want to push too hard too early and risk your race, but with only 10 laps in this sprint, you've got to make some moves and do so early. And this long section allows these drivers to accordion back together with the draft. Ryan Thibault looks to get around Jared Zigler. Sparapani makes a move on Small for second, and we go 3 wide at Spa. Oh no, who is that? That's Terry Crouch involved in that one. He takes a tow back to pit road, and he is done and out. The previous race leader will retire. Let's look and see what happened. Looks like it was the number 27 that goes for a absolute wild ride, just tags Crouch, nowhere to go. And unfortunately, your previous race leader will be done and out, while Antonio Bianchi still leading the party out front with a 1.4 second advantage over Sparapani. Chase Small runs third, Hunter Graves fourth, Jared Zigler still in fifth. As let's look at this, Raymond Aguilar trying to make moves up to the field as well. He's up 9 spots in the number 72 machine, working on the back of the number 99 of Patel. So I believe that was Ryan Thibault who's involved in that incident with previous race winner Terry Crouch. As Thibault also took a tow back to pit road. Aguilar picks up the spot from Patel, works his way up into 6th, now up 10 positions. As Patel tries to answer against Aguilar, unable to do so. As it looks like Aguilar will have a much better drive, but look at this battle as well. Flo Doms and Dustin Oberlo battling for the 9th place spot. A lot of drivers clicking off fastest laps of the race. Looks like it's going to be a Bianchi with a 2:11.81. As Doms picks up the spot from Oberlo. And now Oberlo's going to have more company as here comes Russell Soto charging back up to the field. That may have been a good play and maybe a blessing in disguise for Soto to not be up front during the wild shenanigans, as he will be able to pick up some major points here against Crouch, who is out of the event. Soto looks to the inside line of Oberlo and throws it in deep, able to make the pass with ease, now working his way up to 10th. I've got to say, it's been a good season when you haven't seen the safety car come out yet, so to get through the lap 1 carnage at Spa is probably an accomplishment of itself amongst these drivers. As now we're watching Soto try and put the heat on Doms and work his way inside the top 9. The number 1 machine of Soto again started 11th in this sprint race after he finished 2nd in the opening feature. Still about 8/10 off of Doms. Doms has been running great here, and I believe what may be helping out Doms is we're on board with the number 13 machine. He may be catching the draft of Tritton, who's also using the draft of Patel to climb up towards the front. So watch Doms. He's going to send it in deep here against the number 26 machine of Tritton, gaining a lot of ground on the brakes. Soto follows as well in a 3-car pack in the battle for what will be 7th. Soto once again with a fastest lap of the race, a 2:11.3. As you're on board with Doms, who surprisingly looked to be a little bit late, picking up the draft of Trenton, but still finding pace. And we may have problems elsewhere on the circuit. Oh, it's going to be a bit of a parking lot here as it's Foster, Ramos, Asianati, and Murphy all involved in this one. Foster goes off track. Maybe that wasn't the incident we were looking for. No, it was behind him, I believe. Is it the, oh, there it is. Linking up and sending it around. Poor Matt Foster didn't see that one coming, and he gets tagged up. So Jeff Murphy and Asianati will return to pit road. As they have retired from this race. We're going to pan the camera a little bit further back here to the battle for 5th. Jared Zigler working on Hunter Graves. Graves trying to catch up to Small. Everybody looking for a top 3 podium, especially Zigler, the fill-in driver. He would like nothing more to score some major points. As right as we say that, Graves has a big bobble, number 37 machine. Almost gets run over by Zigler. So now Zigler's worked his way into 4th. Again, he is a fill-in driver tonight, trying to score some points for Mustard Seed Racing as Norman King, the team driver, is out of town tonight. So Zigler going to really put his head down here, try and make some ground and catch back up to the top 3. Zigler has caught up to Chase Small. As we've got Amy Oberlo join us tonight. Amy, I hope you appreciate. We had Mr. Oberlo correct me, Dustin, on the pronunciation, so that one's for you guys. Dustin Curling running 11th on track, the number 42 machine up 3 spots. As we watch Jared Zigler take over the 3rd place position from Chase Small. The fill-in driver is out here with red in his eyes. He's here to prove a point that he can still come back out to League Zero and put on a very fast performance. He's about 1.5 seconds off of Sparapani, but Zigler up 6 spots tonight. As we've got problems towards the back, Brad Tritton finds himself working the wrong way. It looks like that may be Neri, perhaps? Not quite sure who that was. Still parked in no man's land. I think that was Flo Doms, who will take a tow back to pit road after that incident. So we pan back to Raymond Aguilar. Now he's got company from Chase Small. As yes, we get confirmation that was Flo Doms finding himself parked in the grass. And let's see if Small is going to make a move on Aguilar. Aguilar wants nothing more to just keep his nose clean and try and catch back up to Zigler and put that number 72 machine in podium contention, as it is still Bianchi, Sparapani, and Zigler running out front. Zigler finding more ground on Sparapani. He's gotten it down to 7/10 behind the Brazilian driver in 2nd. As, oh, what on earth was that? The 2 teammates get together. Aguilar and Small. Aguilar gets punted by Small, it appeared, and takes a tow back to pit road. There will be some unhappy teammates in this driver's meeting following the completion of this event. I can guarantee you that. As we pan back to the battle for 2nd, it's Sparapani and Zigler, who are about to put on a show here. Zigler's going to play it safe here. The last thing he wants to do is throw away his team's car. But I can almost guarantee the team watching at home has got to be excited to see that number 57 machine back up here in podium contention with Zigler at the wheel, while King enjoys his vacation for a week. Now it seems like Zigler pacing Sparapani here, maybe looking for that slight weakness out of that number 9 machine to set up a pass, or maybe just happy following the Brazilian until we get to the white flag lap where Zigler may show his cards and try and make a gutsy pass. But he may have team orders himself just to bring home some needed points. Soto, who finished second last race, still running fourth. He's about 5.5 seconds back from the battle for second. But not a lot of laps left in this event to try and make up that much needed ground. He's been running about a half second faster than the top 3 drivers with clean track, but that's going to be tough unless Bianchi, Sparapani, and Zigler start battling fiercely here. I don't know if Soto's going to have the time to catch back up, but right as we say that, Zigler and Sparapani going side by side. Zigler takes over the second place spot from Sparapani. Sparapani hops back in the draft, and now Zigler will have the clean track ahead of him to try and make something happen. He must avoid driving in his rearview mirror here, as now he's going to put his head down and try and catch up to his longtime friend Bianchi, who's still running about 3-4 seconds ahead of Zigler here. But now Zigler has the advantage. That's Burrows up 22 positions tonight. Able to avoid some of the carnage here at Spa. But both of these drivers have had some incidents. Scribner pulling about 3/10 over Burrows, but Burrows is going to answer very quickly, getting right back up to Scribner. And we're going to pan back up front as now Zigler has company from Sparapani once more in the battle for second. Sparapani closed the gap rapidly to about 3/10. It looks like Zigler has a very slight bobble. So now it'll be Zigler's turn to defend as Sparapani gets to measure up the number 57 machine. Now they're still finding time on race leader Bianchi, but not a ton, as Soto clicks off the fastest lap of the race once more with a 2:11.25. Almost 6/10 faster than the rest of the field. And Scribner and Burrows, who are having that heated battle, have a bit of contact in the bus stop. As we get confirmation from Flo that he had a bit of a stutter in the sim causing his incident. And look at the battle for second. Zigler running second, still about 3 8/10 off of Bianchi, but he's got a shadow in his mirror in the form of Danilo Sparapani, the Brazilian, who's been running great out here tonight, getting a whole lot of love from the fans, trying to bring home a podium. As a lot of these drivers will do whatever it takes to make the top 3 at the end of the night by the time it's all said and done. Ziggler just trying to bring home a clean car. Sparapani looking for a second place finish tonight. Now that last time by, Zigler was about 7/10 faster than the Brazilian of Sparapani. Burrows has retired from the event with too much damage. Unfortunately, unable to make it till the end of this sprint race, but that is a common factor. A lot of drivers going home early. It looks like we have about 10 to 13 drivers that have retired. If you look at the scoreboard on the left side of your screen, everybody that shows on pit road is out of this event and will not be rejoining, as there is a strict rule. If you take a tow back to victory lane, the podium, can't talk tonight, pit lane, you are out. You will be unable to rejoin the surface. Now, if you can drive back there on your own, get the repairs done, you are allowed to rejoin the circuit and get back to racing. As here comes Zigler and Sparapani battling hard. That's going to allow Bianchi to stretch his lead. Bianchi's got to be happy talking to his spotter and crew chief as he takes the white flag, seeing his gap to the battle for second extend by about 4/10 on that last lap. As both Zigler and Sparapani have thoroughly backed off the pace here in their heated battle for second. As right now it stands Bianchi, Zigler, Sparapani, Soto, and Graves round out the top 5. And man, look at both drivers trying to make the track as tight as they possibly can. Oh, Sparapani really hanging it out here, trying to carry as much speed as he can. He's got the draft of Zigler 3/10 off the number 57 machine and closing fast. Are we going to see some defensive driving out of the number 57 of Zigler? Is he just going to play it safe here? This is the final opportunity that Sparapani is going to have. It is this lap or nothing to bring home a second. Now, I would like to think both these drivers are going to play it safe and avoid throwing away a perfectly good podium with some last-ditch efforts, but racers are going to race. Now, very odd, Brad Tritton has taken a pit stop on lap 9 and going back out on track, so he must have had some sort of damages and just trying to salvage some points here tonight, as he still shows 13th on the circuit. Zigler driving like his life depends on it. He actually gained about a 10th on Bianchi over the course of this lap, but Bianchi comfortably out front with a 4.2 second margin. Zigler's biggest concern is the Brazilian Sparapani a half second off of his gearbox. As it looks like Sparapani is going to play it safe here and not try and throw away either his or Jared Zigler's race, as the checkered flags for flies for Antonio Bianchi. And look at that, Jared Zigler ecstatic to be back up in victory lane, as well as Sparapani. Well done to these drivers, as Antonio Bianchi is going to celebrate in style out here tonight. Maybe taking a photo op with Sparapani and Jared Zigler. Yes, that is exactly what they're going to do. Well done to these drivers, especially Antonio Bianchi bringing it home in the top spot, celebrating in ecstatic style tonight. Jared Zigler already in the waiting room. As all the drivers return to their garages. And we're going to get our drivers up here in victory lane. Oh, that was not the right button. There we go. All right, up first, we've got Sparapani join us in the booth in the number 9 machine. Danilo, great race. You and Jared kept it absolutely clean, and it looked like there was a lot of give and a take that neither one of you drivers wanted to risk crashing each other out while battling for podium contention.
Honestly, I was very surprised because Jared is so fast. I really thought he was just going to pass and go away, but yeah, somehow I stuck, but and I wanted to do it in the last turn, the last chicane, but I couldn't make it work.
Well, rather be safe, bring home a podium, and just a fantastic finish. Now, were you guys communicating at all on who was going to try and make something happen to facilitate passes, or was it every man for himself on that run?
No, every man for himself.
Well, it looked like a lot of fun, able to crawl through up one spot from where you started and kept your nose clean, and it seemed like a race where a lot of drivers were having those issues. Were you trying to play it safe at the beginning and then start making positions, or did you have a strategy coming into tonight's sprint race?
You know, the typical sprint race, right? So just try to survive. That's what it is.
All right, you've got a few friends join in as well, cheering you on. You got Nata, I believe I said that right. Hopefully I said that right, cheering you on. Mauri Fernandez saying, "Vamos, Danilo." I hope I got the accent right, but getting a lot of love out there for the fans, and you have the courtesy and privilege, I guess, first driver tonight. Who would you like to give a shout to? Friends, family, sponsors that's cheering you on in that number 9 machine.
Yeah, so all of those guys from Fundão Racing Team. Shout out to everybody on the Discord. My beautiful wife, Livia. Yeah, and everybody watching.
Well, Danilo, go celebrate with the rest of the hooligans. You absolutely earned it, my friend, and good to have you back up here in victory lane.
Yeah, thank you, man.
Thank you, sir. And up next, we've got Jared Zigler. Look at this, the Oval Professional coming out of retirement and scoring some second-place points for Mustard Seed Racing. That is a comeback out of retirement, my friend.
Yeah, well, I didn't want to come back because, I won the last race, so I didn't want to. But I couldn't say no to Norman. He's built a good team around here, so when he asked me to step in for him, I had to. And of course, it's Spa. I love Spa. I mean, everyone loves Spa. Who hates it? So it was a really fun race. I wish we had like 3 less cars to pass in the sprint because I think we probably could have gotten Antonio there, but nonetheless, we still got second place, and at least I'm surprised I finished that one. I think I wrecked like 2 or 3 different people off my nose with my car somehow, so I need to look back at those. But yeah, it was a fun race.
Well, Jared, you and Danilo were just absolutely going at it. Were you worried at the end that all that hard work was going to get thrown away by a mistake from either of you, or is it a lot of trust between 2 different drivers?
I mean, I trust him. I've raced with him a lot last season, so I trust his driving ability and everything. If I give him room, he'll give me room. So that's basically all the goal. My biggest worry was, like I said, I had one Ghost 4X, and I clipped Ryan and spun him out at the top of the hill. So that was another 4X. So I had 16 or 17X on the final lap. So I was scared for my life on I'm gonna get in off track and get disqualified. But yeah, it was fun. I haven't had that much of a worried in a while. So
Jared, I guess my final question for you, coming back to the League Zero for the first time since retirement, did you feel prepared coming into tonight, or were you a little bit surprised at the muscle memory that he was either coming back or wasn't coming back for you?
I was a little bit surprised. I mean, I was faster than guys who were half second to second faster than me last season, and I have not practiced all off season. I had not practiced at all. I've done maybe like 2 laps at Silverstone in the past like 3 or 4 months. So it was kind of a shock. I was like P3 in practice all the way up to like 5 minutes to go, qualified P7, 4th in a second. So I was kind of shocked with it. Muscle memory came back, and it came back at a good time. So,
well, no doubt, Jared. It's great having you back. It's even cooler having you up here in Victory Lane. And this is just spectacular to see you be able to finish second. Before I let you sign off, who would I to give a shout out to? Friends, family, sponsors.
of course, like I said, Norman King, he has a good team here. Antonio Bianchi and his team with doing the league and everything. It's an amazing league. It might be chaotic at times, but it's still a blast to race in. Peter, I don't even want to try and butcher his last name, being teammate this week. Hopefully I didn't kill him too much, if I did at all. Hopefully I helped him a little bit if I could, but I don't know, my sponsors. Mustard Seed Racing's on the side of this thing. What's on the other side? Give me a second.
That's fine. You're a fill-in driver. Take your time.
Racers for Christ and Racing for Christ, Norman's sponsors. So I'd like to thank them as well for being on the side of the car, a non-profit charity. If you'd like to donate, please go to our websites. Racers for Christ, it's an amazing organization. So and of course, youth broadcasting. So I can't wait to look back. Hopefully, I got a little bit of screen time this week.
You might have got a moment or two.
Okay, if I didn't, I'm gonna march into this office later on and I might have a baseball bat in my hand. So
Roger, understood. Jared, good to have you back up here, my friend. Congratulations on a very well-deserved second place.
Thank you very much. Have a good one.
Thank you, sir. That was Jared Zigler coming out of retirement tonight. And up next, Antonio Bianchi, the open wheel pro, finishing on the top spot, the number 17. I believe that's the first win of the season. Is that correct, Antonio?
Oh yeah, first win of the season. It felt great. Can't lie.
So, Antonio, how hectic is it? I know we had to move the schedule back a little bit to try and accommodate your new work schedule. How much time did you have from work today to actually getting in your sim rig and getting ready to go racing?
So I leave work. So for me, I'm in Pacific time. So the race actually starts at 6:30. Qualifying starts at 6:15. So I get in and pretty much get 10 minutes of qualifying by the time I'm back from work.
Whoa.
And I had no practice coming into this.
Well, it seemed like it worked out well for you. Maybe a little bit of a blessing as Zigler and Sparapani were battling so hard. Were you worried that all those drivers were going to start working together with 3-4 laps left to go and try and reel it in, or were you kind of counting on those guys battling hard?
I wasn't too worried about it. I saw them battling, so it kind of relieved some stress the whole time. I knew I wasn't the fastest car on track, but I just tried to capitalize on the situation at hand. I knew I was starting from the front, so I know I can drive consistent. So I mean, if you look at my lap times from the last 8 laps, I was literally plus or minus a tenth, so it was pretty crazy. But yeah, no, we just capitalized on the situation. Other than that, though, I would honestly, I didn't really feel too much pressure. You get the little last lap heartbeat raise and you feel it. But other than that, it was a pretty good, honestly. I was actually surprised that I managed to get a gap that big. It was nice.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun to watch from us. And do you think that clean track kind of helped clear your head, having really nobody in front of you so you could just focus on hitting your marks, or was that a factor at all?
Oh yeah, no, the clean air was definitely nice. It was so much better compared to the feature race. I had to start 34th. I made my way up to 10th. But yeah, no, it was having clean air definitely helped a lot. Really nice to hit your marks and stuff like that. So I think Jared and Danilo were actually well. I don't know about Danilo, but I know Jared was a little bit faster than me. I was looking at his lap times. He was maybe about a tenth up, so it would have been close if he could get by him, or get by him, I guess, earlier. But yeah, no, you know what? Good race. It was fun. Huge shout out to them. That was fun, and a huge shout out to my teammate Levi too. He was helping me out with like the spotting and engineering for me, telling me where everybody's at. Well, because he wrecked out early.
Well, it happens to the best of us, especially at the League Zero sprint races. Antonio, it's good to have you back up here in Victory Lane, man. Excellent to have you on the top spot and a great run of that 17 machine. Who would you like to give a shout to? I know you touched on a couple other people, but any other fans, friends, family sponsors you'd like to give a shout out to?
Unfortunately, no friends or family watching or sponsors, but I would like to say a huge shout out to Levi again, my teammate, always there, great guy. Also, shout out to the other guys on the podium, that was cool. And then we actually picked up a couple new people helping us out in the steward office, Nick Peterson and Raymond Aguilar. So good to have those guys up there. We're looking, to have a good rest of the season. And yeah, hopefully I'm back up here. That would be nice. It's nice to be back. Can't lie. If I'm
Well,
in the right situation, I'll be back. So we'll see what happens.
well, it's good to have you back. We hope to see you back, and we'll see if we can contact some of the representatives from TGS and see what it takes to sponsor that number 17 machine, so you're not so lonely in Victory Lane. But Antonio, always a great time talking to you, man. Good to see you up front, and congratulations on a hard-fought finish tonight.
Thanks, man. Have a good night. Thanks
Okay.
to everybody who's watching.
Thank you, sir. And that was Antonio Bianchi, the road racing pro, bringing it home on the top spot. Let's change the ping there to the future event. It's Antonio Bianchi, Jared Zigler, Danilo Sparapani rounding out the top three after an action-packed sprint race here at the League Zero Racing Series, the premier Formula 3 iRacing League. On behalf of LeagueZero.net as well as Team Goon Squad Broadcasting, thank you all so much for tuning in wherever you're at across the world. We couldn't do these shows without you, and we look forward to seeing you in 2 weeks, as next week we will be off for an off week of the League Zero event. And then we will be back with our regular scheduled program, same time, same place, 2 weeks from today. Have a good, safe night, and we'll see you then, ladies and gentlemen. Take care.